Hey everyone, Roy the Fiend here. Today we're looking at Sinnoh's Elite Four and Champion. I have to admit, looking over their teams and having played through the games many times, these endgame bosses are some of the most competent I think ever seen in the series. I mean, they all received major overhauls to their teams from Diamond and Pearl, Aaron especially, as he was working with Pokemon like Beautifly and Dustox. Of course, we can still find ways to enhance the difficulty. Just so we're clear, the aim here is to make a hypothetical hard mode team, if Game Freak ever made difficulty options a feature in their games. So sit back and relax as I nerd out over this 17-year-old game. Aaron, the bug type expert. Sorry, I don't even want to make this stupid joke. He honestly looks like he could be Wally's big brother. It's implied he started out as a bug catcher, evolved into a gym leader, then evolved to his current position in the Elite Four. In fact, for fun, here's Aaron if he was the second gym leader, because I felt like it. Anyway, let's see if Aaron starts off the Elite Four strong, as I have implied. He leads with Yanmega at level 49 with Speed Boost, knowing Bug Buzz, Air Slash, U-Turn and Double Team. I love Yanmega. Gen 4 gave so many underloved older Pokemon evolutions they needed. And I mean, look at its stats. Great special attack, solid speed. With speed boost after one turn, basically nothing will outspeed. The moveset itself is fine. I'm not too on board with U-turn as the AI rarely switches out, as that resets the speed boost increase. And U-turning from one bug to another isn't incredible defensively. To be honest, this moveset to me would suit it better if it was running its other amazing ability, Tinted Lens, where its resisted attacks deal double damage. Then you don't really need coverage outside stab. For speed boosting Yanmega, a coverage move would be nice, but honestly I can't really complain. It's a fine introduction to the Elite Four. Second is Scizor at level 49 with Swarm, knowing X-Scissor, Iron Head, Night Slash and Quick Attack. We all know and love Scizor, amazing dual type that's only weak to fire, amazing stats. It looks cool. You get the point. It's a great addition. But fellas, we all see the obvious changes that can be made here, right? You'll find out in the rework if you don't. Third is Heracross at level 51 with Swarm, knowing Mega Horn, Close Combat, Night Slash and Stone Edge. I mean, come on. I implied these Elite Four members needed fixing, but this moveset is really good. 2 high-powered stab attacks, Stone Edge for the fire and flying types, and Night Slash being the worst aspect of its moveset is something to be proud of. Oh, and yeah, Heracross, good stats, we all know it. So, another great team member. Fourth out is Vespiquen at level 50 with Pressure, knowing Attack, Defend and Heal Order and Power Gem. A slow, bulky mixed attacker with a type combination lacking good defensive properties. Also the lowest base stat total of his team, for what it's worth. Do I dislike it? No. I do have a soft spot for this Pokemon. By the way, any of you guys wish Male Combi evolved into something like a Worker Drone or something? We have attack order, 90 base power, 100% accurate, and a high crit rate. What more could you hope for? Defend order is cosmic power, that along with heal order on a defensive Pokemon works. And power gem for the fire, flying, and ice types is decent coverage. Except power gem is weirdly 70 base power in Gen 4 and 5. The main flaw really is you're playing defensive on a Pokemon with a 4 times weakness. Think like Bastiodon and Aggron, 4 times weak to ground and fighting. Though in this case it's only 1 quad weakness. Aaron's ace is Drapion at level 53, with Battle Armor, holding a Citrus Berry, knowing X-Scissor, Cross Poison, Ice Fang and Aerial Ace. I love that this is his ace. I've always said I enjoy giving trainers Pokemon that aren't their type specialty, but still relate to their type in some way. In this case, evolving from a bug and still retaining a lot of bug-like characteristics. Drapion's type is incredible as well, only weak to ground, something the rest of his team hardly cares about, with solid stats, especially in defense. And here's a comparison for you, Drapion stats are just a slightly worse Gliscor. Anyway, on a defensive Mon, being immune to crits is incredible. And Ice Fang, while not incredible, it's nice to see some counterplay to its one weakness. Honestly, this is a grass type's worst nightmare now that I think about it. I'd say a bit overkill having a bug move on this guy, and Aerial Ace isn't adding that much either. But yeah, in general, cool ace, giving Aaron some type diversity and defensiveness. Here's Aaron's team. He's using the best bug types if we're looking at raw base stat totals, not including Cypher. While he has some powerful options, his team is highly weak to fire types. The saving grace here is Drapion's amazing typing being neutral to all 3 of Bug's weaknesses. Actually, you know what could be fun? I think I'm gonna try giving every Elite Four member a Drapion-style team member, aka not their type specialty, but matches their theme. And while I like his team a lot, there's still a couple of weak points we can patch up for him. He still leads with Yanmega, now at level 53, with Speed Boost, holding a Power Herb. It knows Bug Buzz, Air Slash, Solar Beam, and Ancient Power. I was tempted to go Tinted Lens, but in the end, Speed Boost just won out. With its same dual stab attacks, it now has Solar Beam that can charge in one turn on its first use thanks to the Power Herb, helping deal with Yanmega's biggest weakness, Rock types. Ancient Power for Fire and Ice types, as well as it being a nod to how you evolve Yanma. And that 10% Omni Boost is a game I enjoy letting the AI play from time to time. Second is Scizor at 53, with Technician, holding an Occa Berry and knowing X-Scissor, Aerial Ace, Bullet Punch, and Swords Dance. First of all, Bug Bite is a Heart Gold and Soul Silver move tutor, so pipe down. Second of all, we're actually utilising Technician to make Aerial Ace 90 base power and Bullet Punch 60. Combine that with Swords Dance, after one turn you essentially have 120 base power, priority move, with Stab, so more like 180 base power, coming off of Scizor's base 130 attack stat. While its defensive typing is good, to help ensure it has a few turns in it, the Occa Berry halving its quad fire weakness. And since Infernape is a popular pick, that's why I chose Aerial Ace for a coverage option. Third is, now stay with me here, Wormadam Sandy Cloak at level 54, with Anticipation, holding a Focus Sash, and knowing Earthquake, Rock Blast, Flail, and Endeavour. Why have I given Aaron this mediocre bug type, you might ask? Put simply, stab Earthquake for fire and rock types, with Focus Sash guaranteeing it won't also just be insta-code by a wannabe fire type sweeper. Rock Blast for flying types, Flail because if it's on 1 HP that's 200 base power, and Endeavour again for 1 HP strats. Though I know the AI will probably heal, Wormadam's Learn set isn't incredible and we need Focus Sash so we don't get swept anyway. So stat wise, this is a weaker Pokemon than what we replaced. We replaced Vespiquen. But the typing is just so beneficial that we get a lot more value from that than a secondary bug flying type. Fourth is Heracross at 54, with Guts, holding a Flame Orb, knowing Megahorn, Close Combat, Stone Edge, and Facade. This fella is just all out offense. I don't need to explain Guts Heracross surely. After it gets burned, its damage output will be incredible, with solid coverage to deal heavy blows to most Pokemon in the Sinnoh decks. His ace is still Drapion at 56, with Sniper, holding a Scope Lens, knowing Cross Poison, Night Slash, Ice Fang, and Acupressure. This is actually really similar to the BDSP set, which I didn't realise after reworking this moveset. Me and Ilka were just on the same wavelengths, it seems. Initially though, I was going for a bulky Battle Armor Acupressure set with Black Sludge, but honestly, what we have here sounds more fun. A +2 crit ratio results in the stab moves critting 25% of the time, and will deal triple damage thanks to Sniper, giving it absurd damage output. Ice Fang stays for ground types, and Acupressure as a wild card. I have a big soft spot for that move. Some battles it may raise inconsequential stats, but other times it'll get exactly what it needs. Here's Aaron's new team. Replacing Vespiquen for Wormadam, I can see the comments already, but a slow, bulky bug flying type when we have another bug flying type means I feel justified in this change. He sports stronger movesets, offensive and defensive held items, as well as a slight level bump. Aaron should be able to show the player just how tough the Elite Four are. Bertha, the ground type expert. I didn't compare her to Agatha for nothing. Of course they're both old ladies, but their names are similar in English, Bertha and Agatha, as well as other languages, like Japanese Kikuno and Kikuko. Though unlike Agatha, Bertha has a far friendlier personality, complimenting the player and warning them of the third Elite Four member upon her defeat. We should respect our elders, but can we respect her team? Well, she leads with Whiscash at level 50. It's oblivious and knows Earth Power, Aqua Tail, Zen Headbutt, and Sandstorm. Kind of a middling Pokemon stat-wise. Typing, it's amazing of course. Earth Power is okay since its offenses are basically equal. And Sandstorm, it's a great weather condition for Bertha. But we all know a certain Sandstream user later in her team means that this is a bit of anti-synergy, potentially stopping infinite sand from happening. Also, I'd probably have an Ice-type move on this guy, I'm just saying. So I wouldn't call this a great lead. Second is Gliscor, level 53, with Hyper Cutter, knowing Earthquake and the Elemental Fangs. I love its typing and stats. While being incredibly weak to ice moves, Fire Fang is appreciated counterplay. Sorry Abominable Snow, and Thunderfang for water types. It's only got those 2 weaknesses, so that's pretty good. That being said, while Elemental Fangs are cool, they're a bit mid, all being base 65 power. It's a good Pokemon, and the moveset is fine enough, though we'll see what it could do in the rework. Third is Hippowdon at level 52 with Sandstream, knowing EQ, Stone Edge, Crunch and Yawn. The horse. The big dog. The mouth, I guess? It's wide. And the stats. It's a great Pokemon, great moveset, but imagine if Whiscash sandstorms, and just as the Hippo comes out, the sandstorm subsides. Anti-synergy. Similar to Candace in that sense. Why not just lead with this Pokemon, and have a secondary Sandstormer subsequently? Fourth is Golem at level 52 with Rock Head, knowing EQ, Fire and Thunder Punch, and Sandstorm. Look, see, another Sandstormer. Golem stat-wise, we all know it. Except do you? Gen 4 is when they introduced the special defense boost for rock types in a Sandstorm. So doing the calcs here, Golem stats are more like this. Probably not enough to tank a grass or water attack, but hey, it's possible. And having fire and electric coverage for said types is solid. Of course, Rock Head I'd love to see double edged, but counting for some weaknesses, of which Golem has many, is good. Golem I feel is always going to be flawed, since almost every team will have a water or grass type. But for what it is, well, we've seen worse. Last out is Rhyperior at level 55 with Lightning Rod, holding a Citrus Berry, knowing EQ, Rock Wrecker, Mega Horn and Avalanche. Illegal move detected. We have a Lance copycat over here. Rock Wrecker can't be learned until level 61! Okay, to tell you the truth though, this Rhyperior is an absolute beast. Incredible stats, damage output is nuts. Avalanche, I mean you're going last anyway. It's the best rock ground type in the game. Now, its ability won't do anything, even if this was doubles, and its other ability in Solid Rock is amazing. If Sandstorm is up, I can see it maybe tanking a water or grass attack, as its stats would look more like this. So yeah, overall it's a pretty awesome ace with some obvious improvements we can make. Here's Bertha's team. She has a myriad of 4 times weaknesses. Grass, ice, grass again, water, grass again, and water. A lot of reoccurring weaknesses anyway, which we'll try to mitigate when reworking this. She's certainly no slouch for damage output, with high attack stats, strong stab earthquakes, and while I think Hippowdon comes in a little late for Infinite Sand, it does crop up before the rock types that benefit the most thanks to the special defense boost. She now leads with Hippowdon at level 55 with Sandstream, and knowing EQ, Crunch, Yawn and Stealth Rock. Not only are we setting up Infinite Sand turn 1, but now potentially entry hazards as well. The rest of the moveset stayed the same as it's perfectly fine. Crunch being able to lower defense really sealed the deal for it being the coverage move for me. Second out is Steelix at level 54 with Rock Head, holding a Metal Coat, knowing EQ, Jarable, Double Edge and Curse. Have you ever seen a more straightforward 3 attack setup sweeper in your life? After 1 Curse, you have great attack, incredible defense, and a Jarable at least close to 150 base power, and with 20% more power on top of that thanks to the Metal Coat. Defensively, it's a great addition as well, neutral to ice and grass. Third out is Sudowoodo at level 55 with Rock Head, holding a Pachot Berry, knowing Stone Edge, Woodhammer, Hammer Arm, and Sandstorm. Here it is, Bertha's non-ground type. She used one in Diamond and Pearl, and not much else really I could see fitting this niche, so here we are. While you may look at its base stat total and scoff, the spread of stats is nicely distributed, and if Sandstorm is up, then its special defense looks more like this. We have a Pachot Berry to have a water attack, as this rework team's biggest weak point definitely is water. To that end, Woodhammer dealing heavy super effective damage back to them, taking no recoil thanks to Rock Head, Stone Edge for strong stab, and hey, Hammer Arm is solid coverage in general as well. Who cares about the speed drop? Oh, and a secondary Sandstorm setter, just in case it's required. Fourth is Gliscor at level 54 with Sandvale, holding a Yachi Berry, and knows EQ, Airlace, Stone Edge and Sword Stance. Another 3 attack setup sweeper. I wouldn't normally be too insistent on Airlace, but considering how weak her team is to grass types, it serves a useful purpose. Stone Edge can deal with its own weakness to ice types, and assuming Sand is still up, its ability will grant it a 25% boost to evasion, which will help enable Sword Stancing safely. A few dodges and you're looking at an evasive one-shot machine. Her ace Rhyperior at level 57 with Solid Rock, holding a Rindo Berry, and knows EQ, Rock Wrecker, Thunder Punch and Avalanche. Still opting for all-out offense, but with the Solid Rock ability, Its 4 times weaknesses are merely devastating 3 times weaknesses, and 2 times weaknesses are 1.5 times. And, for 1 turn at least, grass type is also only 1.5 times effective, easily tanking physical attacks, and in the sand, likely tanking a special attack as well. I swapped out Mega Horn for Thunder Punch as another angle to attack water types from. Now we have Bolt Beam coverage, or I guess, Thunderlanche? Avalanche? Whatever, while Earthquake actually equals Thunder Punch in damage output in this regard, it does have use cases against Pokemon like Gyarados, Mantine, and that one freaking Pelipper user. Question of the day, have you used Pelipper in Gen 4? This is a rock ground type fully geared towards tanking those life-ending water and grass types, and countering back with super effective damage, from its whopping base 140 attack stat. So here's Bertha's team, rearranging her team order slightly, most importantly with Hippowdon leading, to hopefully have sand for the whole battle, with Sudowoodo able to reset up the sand in case the players change the weather. With new additions like Steelix, and at least for 1 turn the Pasho Berry on Sudowoodo, it opts her some turns where she only takes neutral damage from her most common weaknesses. And now I'm just really curious to see just how well her Rhyperior could tank now. It'll be far better than before. Flint and Steel! Chicken jockey. Flint, the fire type expert, and Volkner's only friend. He's far more laid back and upbeat than Volkner, often shouting, "Yo!" as an introduction, which is definitive proof he's laid back. In the Pokemon Adventures manga, he actually fought Giratina in the Distortion world. He lost though, and just look at this Rapidash in the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl Adventures manga. Reminds me of the Fire Horse meme. And like that meme, will his team be fire all the way through? Not in Diamond and Pearl, but in Platinum, with a major rework? Did he bring the heat? He leads with Houndoom at level 52, with Early Bird, knowing Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, Sludge Bomb, and Sunny Day. Really cool type combo, great stats, moveset is good, dual stab, and random Sludge Bomb, which honestly isn't adding a whole lot since no fairy type yet, but cool. Sunny Day, since Ninetales Drought isn't a thing until Gen 5, and somehow I'm not surprised he isn't leading with Groudon, so it's a decent lead. Next out is Flareon at 55, with Flash Fire, knowing Overheat, Giga Impact, Quick Attack, and Will-O-Wisp. Oh, Flareon, you are an unfortunate evolution. Okay, start with a good, powerful Overheat, base 95 special attack, that's solid enough. Will-O-Wisp for the burns, especially with Flareon's low defense but solid special defense. Again, no complaints. Now, Giga Impact and Quick Attack. Base 130 attack and 65 speed, I can see the logic in this. But non-stab Giga Impact, oh. Yeah, it's a big meme, Flareon's physical move options suck. It didn't receive Flare Blitz until Gen 6, and even by Gen 9, its physical options outside of normal attacks are poor. It's just an unfortunate existence for poor old Flareon. I mean, look, I can't be too harsh. It's not like this is a pushover, just Flareon, we all support you, King. Don't feel too bad. Third is Rapidorsh at level 53 with Runaway, knowing Flare Blitz, Solar Beam, Bounce, and Sunny Day. Finally, physical fire attacks for this physical attacker. It can certainly pack a punch compared to previous generations, and Solar Beam complements fire types' weaknesses so nicely, dealing with water, ground, and rock types, which typically for the latter two have poor special defense, allowing Rapidash's alright but not amazing special attack to get the job done. Sunny Day again enabling the 1-turn Solar Beam. And Bounce. It's an interesting move, it's kind of like an inaccurate fly that can paralyze. Honestly a little funky but kind of fun. I'm just happy to see Rapidash have some things go its way for this generation. Fourth is Infernape at level 55 with Blaze, knowing Flare Blitz, Thunder Punch, Mach Punch, and Earthquake. Fast mixed attacker, powerful stab, Thunder Punch for flying and water types, Mach Punch for priority, sure, and Earthquake to help break down rock types. One of the cleanest movesets here. Slap on a Life Orb, Expert Belt, or something, then I could happily call this a day. Lastly is Magmortar at 57 with Flame Body, holding a Citrus Berry, knowing Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, Solar Beam, and Hyper Beam. I do appreciate the beam motif here, and yes, I'm showing the Platinum sprite here, of course. It has a literal arm cannon, but every other depiction of this fella shows it has a little claws protruding. I assume they're retractable, but the Platinum sprite just goes hard. He's about to blast you with no remorse. Need I say more about this moveset? T-Bolt for water types, Solar Beam as long as the sun is up is incredible, Flamethrower solid stab, But Hyper Beam, you know how I feel about recharging moves without stab. Thematically cool, strategically suboptimal. Here's Flint's team. Overall, I actually quite like it. It has some really solid offensive options. I mean, he is simply using the 5 fire types found in the Platinum expanded decks, but it's not too shabby. With some adjustments, we can take it to the next level. So Flint now leads with his Rapidash at level 55 with Flash Fire, holding a Heat Rock, knowing Flare Blitz, Mega Horn, Solar Beam and Sunny Day. The main reason for this lead change is that Rapidash is faster, therefore more likely to go first and set up the sun before being knocked out. No legal drought users yet unfortunately, so this is the best he's got. At least the Heat Rock will make it last 8 turns over 5. I stated why Flare Blitz and Solar Beam are solid attacks, but I replaced Bounce as that's a 2-turn attack, wasting all of those precious sun turns, and Mega Horn provides super effective coverage against Psychic and Dark types, while Flying would only additionally help against Fighting. Second out is Rotom Heat at level 56, Levitating, holding a White Herb and knowing Overheat, Thunderbolt, Psychic and Will-O-Wisp. I know a few people didn't approve of me giving Volkner Rotom, but oh well. Flint is Volkner's bro, so deal with it. With the White Herb, it can use Overheat twice in a row before noticing any power drop. But have no fear, this is a rare instance, the second instance I believe of me giving a Pokemon Psych Up. The other time was Will's Espeon in fixing Johto's Elite Four. If the player has boosted stats, then great, so does Rotom. If not, then it can reset its lowered special attack from overheating. Offensively and defensively, a Levitating Electric Ghost helps a lot. Immune to ground attacks, neutral to rock and water while hitting water back super effectively. And it has a very pleasing stat distribution. Great defenses and special attack. Third is Houndoom at 55 with Early Bird holding a Heat Rock, knowing Fire Blast, Dark Pulse, Solar Beam and Sunny Day. You may have noticed by now, but I am a fan of having the initial lead weather setter than a secondary backup setter somewhere down the line. It's a way to help counter any players changing the weather to deny these trainers their juicy weather strats. So what's different here from his original lead Houndoom? Well, it's 3 levels higher, has Fire Blast not Flamethrower, Solar Beam over Sludge Bomb to provide far better coverage. Flint is going for straightforward offense powered up by the sun. Fourth is Infernape at level 56 with Blaze, holding an Expert Belt, knowing Flare Blitz, Close Combat, Thunder Punch and Earthquake. Out of every fully evolved Sinnoh Dexmon, 81 take super effective damage from one of Infernape's moves. 25 are neutral and 0 resist. And one of these neutrals is unknown, which doesn't count. So basically it's a perfect Expert Belt user. Fast, fierce, fleeting offense, sun boosted, blaze range Flare Blitz. My goodness. This Pokemon's going to be tough, but that ain't even his ace, as last out is his Magmortar at level 58, with Flame Body, holding a Life Orb, knowing Fire Blast, Thunderbolt, Solar Beam and Focus Blast. Again, we're opting for a brutal beatdown strategy before being knocked out, upgrading Flamethrower to Fire Blast and Hyper Beam to Focus Blast, for a bit iffy accuracy but in-theme coverage for our Cannons for Arms friend. Here's Flint's team, changing up the lead to enable quicker first turn Sunny Days, if the AI wishes to do so. Rotom Heat instead of poor Flareon, providing solid defensive support you can't really get from just using fire types. And the rest of his team have really just incredible firepower. It looks like Ronald McDonald's cousin will be a brutal opponent. Lucien, the Psychic type expert, living up to the stereotype, he is a big nerd. When you become the champion, he hangs out in Canalave Library, choosing a new book to read. Sorry. I appreciate seeing gym leaders and Elite Four members outside of their little box. Like Lorelei on the Sevi Islands, stopping Team Rocket. We could even go to her house. Or even simply Watson asking the player for a favor. Anyway, Pokemon needs more of that. When I was working on my Pokemon fan game, that was something I always kept in mind. Yeah, I was making a fan game, no biggie. Anyway, let's go over Lucien's team. His lead is Mr. Mime at 53, with Soundproof, knowing Psychic, T-Bolt, and dual screens. Mime is synonymous with screens, and it's a good opener. Stab Psychic and decent coverage, it's not too shabby. I like Soundproof here, though its other ability, Filter, is amazing, as Soundproof makes it immune to some scary moves, first and foremost Bug Buzz. Its stats are fair, nothing too crazy, but good Spit F. Second is Espeon at 55, with Synchronize, knowing Psychic, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, and Quick Attack. A Pokemon whose stats are essentially bulkier Alakazam, at the cost of slight special attack and speed reduction. In that sense, it's very good. It's no Flareon anyway, that's for sure. With powerful Stab Psychic, Shadow Ball for Ghost, Signal Beam for Dark, and Quick Attack is kinda wasted. Maybe the 1 in 100 chance of Psychic taking your Crobat down to 5 HP, and you don't expect the Quick Attack! But come on dog, what about the other 99 times? Apart from that, it's a solid addition. Third is Bronzong at level 54 with Levitate. It knows Psychic, Jarable, Earthquake and Calm Mind. I love Bronzong, great stats in typing, especially with Levitate, and the moves here are solid, though only having Calm Mind for Psychic isn't ideal. Why not Flash Cannon over Gyro? It's handy that Bronzong is neutral to all 3 of Psychic's weaknesses. Truly, Steel types got it made, especially before the Gen 6 nerf that also gave them a buff. Fourth is Alakazam at 56 with Synchronize, knowing Psychic, Energy Ball, Focus Blast and Recover. Alakazam is always an OG, fast, powerful, good coverage, just don't miss Focus Blast, and Recover may be iconic on it, but it's not the best use of its time without having buffed defenses. Unless, of course, Mr. Mime's Reflect and Light Screen are still up, though they won't be for much longer if they are. Lastly, Gallade at 59 with Steadfast, holding a Citrus Berry, knowing Drain Punch, Psycho Cut, Leaf Blade and Stone Edge. With a solid stat distribution, Gallade is going all out on physical offense. Sure, Drain Punch is weak, as this is pre-buffed and it's still 60 base power, but it'll do the trick on Dark types, Stone Edge for flying types and bugs too. And well, Leaf Blade being buffed to 90 base power this gen is certainly nice. With 3 high crit moves, its damage output can be rather impressive. All in all, it's a pretty solid ace. Here's Lucien's team, giving off strong HGSS Sabrina energy, though his movesets are better. And with Gallade and Bronzong offering good defensive and offensive attributes, they can handle a wide array of opponents, including Psychic's weaknesses. He's a pretty respectable Final Elite 4 member. Let's find a way to get him even more respect. Lucien's now leading with Espeon at level 57, with Synchronize holding a Twisted Spoon, and knowing Psychic, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam and Calm Mind. It's the same moveset as before, except we switched Quick Attack for Calm Mind. We have the Twisted Spoon as Espeon has the highest special attack in his reworked team, so further boosting his stab attack to dish out heavy damage without needing to boost up. No more screen setting Mr. Mime leading. I basically always lean further into dual screen strategies whenever the NPC uses them, so I figured I'd try to not follow that predictable path. So now, we're leading off with a Pokemon that has solid offensive options against most of Psychic's poor matchups. Second out is Girafarig at level 56, with Early Bird holding the black glasses and knowing Psychic, Secret Power, Crunch and Reflect. Okay, this was a tough call. In fact, I'm re-recording this part on the 17th. I've almost finished editing the whole video. Originally, I wasn't going to include Girafarig, but its normal typing is too good to pass up here. This is the Resident Ghost Counterer, immune to their attacks and can hit back with Black Glasses boosted crunches. We still have some semblance of screen support with Reflect to help out on the team's frailer defensive side. For Secret Power, it's not the strongest attack at base 70 power, but with its 30% paralysis chance and higher damage output than Crunch in the neutral environment, I wanted some normal stab. And moves like Double Edge are only possible via transferring a Gen 3 Pokemon, so I didn't really want to include that. At the least, it's the go-to attack against Dark types. Third is Golduck at level 57, with Cloud9 holding Mystic Water and knowing Hydro Pump, Psychic, Cross Chop and Aqua Jet. Golduck is Psychic type, just for some reason the internal data says otherwise. Golduck, please, I'm on your side. Don't hurt me. Being Water type makes it neutral for all 3 of Psychic's weaknesses. And with the Mystic Water, Hydro Pump is now 144 base power and Aqua Jet 48. I want to get the most out of the Water typing that would otherwise be unobtainable for Lucien. Then there's Psychic to theme better on his team and Cross Chop for Dark types. Fourth is Bronzong at level 56 with Levitate, holding a Muscle Band, knowing Zen Headbutt, Jarable, Earthquake and Explosion. Look, this is the last generation before they nerf Explosion. Here it has a hidden bonus effect where it halves the defense stat before calculating damage, essentially making it a 500 base power attack, or 550 with the Muscle Band. It also could be a good way to even the playing field before his ace comes out. Rest of the moveset is straightforward, solid dual stabs, and Earthquake for its only weakness to fire types. Lastly is Gallade at 59 with Steadfast, holding a Big Root and knowing Drain Punch, Zen Headbutt, Thunder Punch and Bulk Up. Another 3 attack setup sweeper. I really like Bulk Up here as it patches up Gallade's lower defense stat. At +1 defense, it's very nearly equal to its special defense. At that point, powerful Drain Punches can heal off any damage received, healing more than usual thanks to the Big Root. And Thunder Punch is useful for Pokemon like Gyarados, or even Empoleon if it exhausts all of its Drain Punches PP. Here's Lucien's team. Replacing Alakazam for Golduck sounds like a step down, but Espeon covers its role very similarly, but with nicer stats I feel. So instead it gives Lucien a bit more variety and balance to his team. 2 setup sweepers, a Ghost and Dark counter, and damage boosting held items. I'm hoping this final Elite Four member will display brilliant offense and shining defense? Yeah, cool. Cynthia, Sinnoh's champion. She's what children's nightmares are made of. As a kid, I certainly remember struggling against her, but the thing is, kids suck at Pokemon. Seriously. I somewhat remember my original Platinum team. My Gyarados had Hydro Pump and Rock Smash. And my Haunter was fine, except it had Return. I mean, I probably read the move description and since Haunter was my favourite, was hoping it'd be a powerful attack. That being said, Cynthia has a reputation as one of, if not the toughest champion in all of Pokemon. Just listen to her introduction theme. It's so good, and it just sounds like she's on a level beyond that of the previous champions in other Pokemon games. Let's break down her team that has scarred many people's childhoods. She leads with Spiritomb at 58, with pressure, knowing Dark Pulse, Shadow Ball, Psychic and Silver Wind. A slow, bulky mixed attacker with 0 weaknesses. Oh my word. I have issues with its moveset, but leading with a tank that has no weak points is a really cool start to a battle. I don't think it should be using 4 attacks here, but with 2 attacks that can lower special defense and 1 that can Omni Boost, at least there's an avenue to buff and debuff, I guess? Second is Roserade at 58, with Natural Cure, knowing Energy Ball, Sludge Bomb, Extra Sensory and Toxic. Great stats, 2 great stab moves. For Extra Sensory, I mean, it's coverage, and with Roserade likely outleveling the player and having a base 90 speed stat, its 10% flinch chance will come into play for a good portion of players. Lastly, Toxic. I mean, I like the move, but in Gen 4, poison types don't have 100% accuracy with this move. It's still 85% accurate no matter who uses it. So honestly, it may just be better to spam Sludge Bombs for good damage and a respectable 30% regular poison chance. Third is Togekiss at 60 with Hustle, knowing Air Slash, Aura Sphere, Water Pulse and Shockwave. This mon is new to her team in Platinum, replacing her Gastrodon, and it makes sense considering she gives the player a Togepi egg in Eterna City. But she must be breeding for a Serene Grace egg if she's using Hustle on her champion team, which does nothing here. And I mean, look at Togekiss's stats. They're cracked, except for attack. Air Slash is decent stab, Aura Sphere for Ice and Rock types, though Water Pulse and mainly Shockwave, they feel a bit slot fillery. Fourth is Lucario at 60 with Steadfast, knowing Aura Sphere, Extreme Speed, Shadow Ball and Stone Edge. You've taken Gardenia's ace. Now May leans? Anyway, I can't blame her, Lucario is a great mon. A mixed attacker on full display here. You can really mix and match what moves you want on this guy, and all in all, having strong stab, priority and Stone Edge for fire types, she could have done a lot worse than this. Fifth is Wallace's Milotic at level 58 with Marvel Scale, knowing Surf, Ice Beam, Dragon Pulse and Mirror Coat. I love its stats and typing, water type's OP, with Surf and Dragon Pulse literally only Empoleon can resist, who could fire back base 100 power Grass Knot, because yes, Empoleon does learn that, but with good special defense, Milotic can tank. And while I don't trust the AI, it does have the option to hit it back harder thanks to Mirror Coat. Last out is the infamous, the dreaded Garchomp. At level 62 with Sandvale, holding a Citrus Berry, knowing Dragon Rush, EQ, Flamethrower and Giga Impact. Look at those stats. Dragon Ground coverage means only Skarmory can resist, but that's only post-game, no! And as a Flamethrower anyway, no! With Dragon Rush, it's an interesting move, 100 base power, 75% accurate and a 20% flinch chance. It is kind of whack, but over the course of theory crafting our team, this move's grown on me. Not necessarily for how incredible it is, but from an adrenaline-inducing perspective. Your team's weakened. Cynthia's down to her Garchomp. She Dragon Rushes. Seeing the text slowly appear, your eyes glued to the screen. Will it land? Will it flinch? Will it miss? If it lands, a massive sinking feeling in your stomach grows, seeing your HP slowly deplete, Gen 4 style. If it misses, then the hype you'll feel will be greater than any other battle in the game. That's how I feel anyway. It's obviously not the best dragon move, but I actually kinda like it. For Flamethrower, I mean, it's non-stab from base 80 special attack. The Garchomp probably outlevels you, so it is still scary if you're weak to fire. It's a good ice type counter, and Abomasnow, you specifically, are screwed. The biggest problem in this moveset for me is Giga Impact. That deals the same damage as an Earthquake or Dragon Rush, but with the dreaded recharge turn. And 10% chance you miss anyway. Look, it still hits like a truck of course. It's a terrifying ace that, if you don't have something like a Weavile, can easily sweep your team. Here's Cynthia's team. Amazing type diversity we haven't seen from a champion since Blue. Every team member has great high power stab moves, stats, typings. I totally understand the respect she garners. But what if we take her to the next level? Just how much tougher could she be? She's still leading Spiritomb at 59, with pressure holding leftovers, knowing Dark Pulse, Shadow Ball, Will-O-Wisp and Calm Mind. I really like the idea of having a no weakness bulky lead Pokemon, so we've kept Spiritomb. You've got a physical attacker, Will-O-Wisp. Special attacker, Calm Mind. Now Spiritomb's 2 stab attacks are going ham on your team. Don't dawdle because it's healing every turn passively. Out second is Roserade at 59 with Poison Point, holding a Poison Barb, knowing Energy Ball, Sludge Bomb, Extra Sensory and Toxic Spikes. A poisoning ability, a poison boosting items and Toxic Spikes over Toxic. I want this Roserade to threaten you with easy to inflict status. And having 108 base power Sludge Bomb is quite scary too. With how limited hazard removal is in Gen 4, the simple move change from Toxic to Toxic Spikes could have significant implications. At the very least, at the cost of 1 turn, it can make the player waste several turns just to heal off the poison. Third out is Togekiss at 61, with Serene Grace. Oh no! Holding Wise Glasses and knowing Air Slash, Aura Sphere, Water Pulse and Roost. With its held item boosting damage output by 10%, Water Pulse remained, as with Serene Grace it now has a 40% chance to confuse. That along with 60% flinches from Air Slash. This ability change probably makes the biggest impact out of any abilities I've ever switched. That being said, base 80 speed isn't anything unstoppable. Some people suggested Thunderwave Air Slash, but that strategy is just too diabolical, even for me. Roost as a way to heal, given Togekiss has solid defensive stats, and if it outspeeds, it's lost its flying typing, becoming neutral to rock, ice and electric attacks for that 1 turn. Fourth is Lucario at 61, with Steadfast, holding the Life Orb, knowing Close Combat, Flash Cannon, Earthquake and Extreme Speed, with high power Close Combat, and Special Attack and Flash Cannon to hit both sides of the spectrum, along with Earthquake for fire types. And of course, Extreme Speed is just too good to pass up on. With Life Orb, that's essentially 104 base power priority attack. A powerful, no-nonsense Pokemon that can be switched in and finish off any weakened opponents. Fifth is not Milotic, and trust me, this was really tough to finalize replacement, but it's Porygon Z. At level 60 with adaptability, holding a Silk Scarf and knowing Tri-Attack, Bolt Beam and Hyper Beam. I'm taking a page out of BDSP here, where she uses a PZ in her rematches after Stark Mountain. We've replaced the Milotic. It did feel a bit off seeing one in the next generation's champions team. And I love Porygon Z, though stats are beautiful. Usually I'm a hater of recharge moves, but here it makes sense. Its stab, boosted further by adaptability and the Silk Scarf. In fact, its base power is a whopping 360. At that point, I'm fine having to eat the recharge turn. I love normal types, so seeing one on the champion displaying disgusting normal type offense is very satisfying to me. Also, now we have 6 Pokemon from the Sinnoh region as opposed to 5 plus Milotic. Last out, the Garchomp at 63, with Sandvale, holding a Yachi Berry and knowing Dragon Rush, EQ, Stone Edge and Fire Blast. I was tempted to go for Outrage Person Berry, and I even considered King's Rock, as, fun fact, moves like Dragon Rush, Iron Head, or even Togekiss Air Slash do get the 10% flinch chance in Gen 4. Instead, Yachi Berry halving an Ice type attack means with Garchomp's impressive stats and high level, should tank a hit and retaliate back with a Stone Edge or upgrading Fire Blast. And we kept Dragon Rush, as honestly, I really like this high power gamble for the Hall of Fame Gatekeeper. No more Giga Impact, but rather better coverage, but the biggest improvement here I feel is no free turns from when Garchomp needs to recharge. Here's Cynthia's team. Replacing 1 Pokemon, she now sports a full Sinnoh squad, with her pre-existing members displaying a range of changes, from small and meaningful, like Roserade's Toxic to Toxic Spikes, or Garchomp's Flamethrower to Fire Blast, to big things like Togekiss having Serene Grace, which just makes it so much more effective. That along with held items, further emphasizing her power boost from the base game, I think she's the toughest rework champion I've made out of all of the regions, which makes sense given how already strong she is considered normally. there we have it. Sinnoh is done. Theory crafting in Gen 4 is really fun, and it was an interesting challenge considering their gym leaders and Elite 4, at least in Platinum, are rather competent. So I hope my changes have been enough to justify the videos. Anyway, that's all from me. Gen 5 is now on my mind, but I'm honestly considering going back and looking at the earlier generations and fixing other aspects like their evil teams, rivals, maybe even fixing overworld design like the worst route in Pokemon. Either way, more theory crafting to come. I hope you've all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day. See ya.